Hey, yeah, it's me, back for another round of video goodness, and see whatever the hell's gonna go on in my mind. Making another attempt at this because I didn't like the way the first one went, because, yeah, my voice slipped and I didn't like the way it sounded. So, unfortunately, when it comes to the vocal work, things don't always work the way that we like them to, and you wind up defaulting back to an old voice that you just absolutely hate. So, that is actually the primary focus of my videos, is that I want to work on that and try to not slip back into that old voice of mine. Unfortunately, my first take of this video, it did not work out that way. So here I am again, trying again. Um, so yeah, I got this comment on my last video. Had to laugh at it because the person was bitching because they weren't entertained enough by what I do. It's like, well, motherfucker, these videos are not meant for other people's entertainment. They are meant for my personal use as a means to practice my vocal skills and hopefully improve in the areas that I know I'm lacking. And if you're not finding anything of use, of worth out of them, well, then feel free to move on. I mean, until I started doing gameplay and uploading let's plays and all that kind of shit, well, maybe then you can look for some entertainment, quote unquote, out of my videos. But until then, yeah, these vlogs are just me trying to work on an area that I know I am severely lacking in. So, anyway, where am I at today? Um, yeah, so the elephant in the room, I'm sure you've noticed, I've got a bit more of a vibrant hue to my hair, as well as a bit of a curl to it. So I went ahead and got my hair touched up just in time for my birthday. Got the hair color refreshed and got trimmed a bit by my local salon. It seemed to work out pretty well. Looks a lot better in the sunlight though. So this is it's a decent representation of how it naturally looks in the sunlight, but it's not quite there. It is more vibrant in the sunlight, but it's sometime after midnight here right now, so you're not going to see that. So let's see, what do we have this week? Yeah, I suppose Halloween came and went. I gave away no candy because I'm kind of an asshole that way, and I don't do trick-or-treating. It's also because I had to get ready for work during trick-or-treating time, so I couldn't really stick around and hand out candy anyway. But yeah, so the highlight of Halloween for me, I guess, was the snowfall. And I use the term highlight very, very loosely because snowfall plus me equals, yeah, not a fan. So it was, yeah, it was about 3.5 inches that we got that day. A far cry from the largest snowfall total I've seen on Halloween. That distinction goes back to 1991, where we got, I want to say it was about 3 feet of snow during that event. it was enough that we actually had to cancel school. I think it was 2 days over a weekend where we had school called off because there was just that much snowfall, and the plowing capacity for that region, for those towns, was so abysmally um, lacking that they could have been working full time 24 hours a day and still would have taken them a few days to get through everything. I mean, you've got a very sparse population up there to begin with, a few thousand people for the county, and I don't know how many hundreds of miles of road you got there, and it's all these back roads and these, if you won't even call them 2-lane roads, where if you want to pass somebody, if you meet someone and you're trying to pass them, someone's probably got to go off onto the shoulder to pass by. So anyway, yeah, driving up there sucks. I don't recommend it, especially not in the winter. Actually, especially not ever, because even without the snow, you got the deer population up there all the time. That's wreaking havoc no matter what happens. So yeah, I just don't do it. So yeah, so that was Halloween. I didn't really get to do anything as far as decorating or really any kind of actual observation of it, because I just thought the whole month just passed me by. I was like, it was beginning of October, and next thing I knew, it was the end of October. It's like, okay, uh, where did all these days go? I have no idea, but they're gone now. C'est la vie. So, yeah, let's see. Highlights of the week included getting to take my car back for a funny noise again. Different kind of funny noise this time around, but it was a whole lot worse than the one I took it in for last week. Last week I took it in because I was hearing this light, semi-howling noise, more of a woo sound, but it wouldn't. It decided not to show up when the mechanic was driving it, so couldn't really troubleshoot it. But now this past Wednesday, as I was driving to my electrolysis appointment, I was sitting at the stoplights on the highway near the electrology place, and I started hearing the squeaking. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, please let that be the car next to me. But then that car pulled away when their light turned green, and no sound. Second later, I'm getting the green arrow to make my turn, and as soon as I started getting up to any kind of speed, I started hearing squeak, squeak, squeak. So, and it turns into a squeal as the speed increased. So I'm like, well, fuck. Pull into the parking lot, check out what's a constant thing or a situational thing. Pull into a spot, call the mechanic, and miraculously they had an opening for that afternoon. So thank God for that. Take it into the mechanic, and they want to take it for a little test drive with me in the car. And yeah, we get about half a block, and he's like, "Yep, we've got enough to work off of here. Park it." And yeah, I wind up walking home from there. I mean, I've got a place that's about a mile and a half away from the mechanic, so it's not that big a deal. I just don't really do it all that often because well, I'm a lazy and there's a pudgy little bastard. But yeah, so get a call from the mechanic about 2 hours later saying the car's done. So I get back, head back out there and walk the trail, make my way in there, and they tell me what happened there. Well, it turns out that the fix that the mechanic had employed the week before, where he found an issue with one of the springs on the caliper, had was stuck out, and it was kind of rubbing against the caliper. So he reset the spring initially, but it didn't hold. Now the second time here, he just went ahead and replaced the entire thing. He had a toolkit that he installed, replaced the spring and everything. So $70 later, and yeah, my car is allegedly noise free. So, yay. It was kind of shitty timing though. Oh, I mean, I was supposed to help my brothers move furniture for my mom that afternoon. So she was getting the boots out of her rehab facility because they the um, what the hell do you call them? The people that help with the therapy. Yeah, occupational therapist or physical therapist, whichever one was which, I don't know. But anyway, the therapists were were telling her that she was done with the therapy. They couldn't do anything more to help her, so they were saying you got to be out of here a few days from now. So she winds up getting an assisted living apartment at a place about a mile or two from here. And conveniently, she is right next door to a hospital. So if anything goes wrong, at least she's got a place to get triaged anyway. Unfortunately, it's not a good hospital, but at least they can stop the bleeding if anything happens, right? Yeah, but no, seriously, that hospital in town here, I would not go to unless my life absolutely depended on it. Just because I do not trust that medical network. They've always been suspect with me as far as I was concerned. And they've done very little to alleviate my suspicions over the years. Anyway, but they can at least get her packed up and sent her to a real hospital. But anyway, so she'll be living there for an indefinite amount of time. She says she'll try it for a month, see what happens. If she likes it enough, she'll stay there. Or if she feels that she's not a good fit there, she'll just give them 30 days notice and vacate at the end of those 30 days. Call it good. And then maybe go home. Who knows? But anyway, I was supposed to help move the furniture from her condo into that apartment on Wednesday, but with the car being out of commission, I was unable to participate. Seems they did a good job without me though, so I'm not losing sleep over it. So, yeah, I should not be tired like this. I mean, I did doze throughout the evening, so I should be fine. I'll blame the cat here. Yeah, it's all Trisha's fault. All Trisha's fault. So let's see what else we got going on here. Got a birthday in a few days. Yippee. Yippee-ki-yay, right? 42 years old. I don't feel a day over 80. No, I mean, I've felt older than my years for as far back as I can remember. Always been tired. It's been a chronic thing for me since I was a teenager. But yeah, I guess with the cat being here, I mean, this is the entire household, so reminds me of something that I don't know if I should bring it up or not, but I guess with this being my own vlog and my opportunity to share the things that happen to me, this probably is as good of a place as any to jot it down. I mean, yeah, I'm dictating it, but whatever. So yeah, I think it was about maybe 4 weeks ago now. I was sitting at home, much like I am tonight. I was playing my games. What was I playing that night? Probably Crisis Core. Sounds about right. But anyway, damn, it's nose itch. Anyway, so I gotta go pee. So pause the game, get up, and go stumble toward the bathroom because I'm also noticing a bit of a pain near the groin area, which it happens sometimes if I'm getting circulation cut off in the wrong way, which hazard of being trans when you're still pre-op. So anyway, make it into the bathroom and prep the seat and everything, and I realized that nope, the way things are feeling right now, it's not going to happen. Not so much from the pain I was feeling, but from the fact that I was actually feeling my consciousness slip. Like it was a case where if I continued to stand or sit upright, that I was going to wind up on the floor within probably about half a minute to a minute. So I just shut the light off and make my way back to my recliner, fall down into it, and I'm realizing that nope, even in this partially upright position, it's not going to end well for me. So I get back up again, stumble, half crawl my way up the stairs here, make my way to this bed here, and get far enough that I collapse on the bed and I passed out. I think I woke up about 2 hours later, maybe 3 hours later, I'm not sure. But while all this was happening, I was very much aware of the fact that I was going through a case where my verbal faculties were completely compromised, and even if I had been able to reach a phone and call 911 or anything, it wouldn't have done me any good because I would not be able to articulate what was happening. So, and let alone even if I could have gotten a hold of an EMT, I could not have gone down there to unlock the door. So I would have busted the door on top of everything else. But I mean, I woke up and everything was fine again, but it reminded me of the fact that if things go wrong here, if I have any kind of medical situation, I'm pretty much screwed. And I know as I get older, it's not going to be a case of if something goes wrong, but more a case of when something goes wrong. I mean, it's similar to what I had happen 2 years ago when I was on the higher dose of spironolactone. Um, yeah, back in those days, they were trying to work on testosterone suppression. So standard procedure on that was if you handle the 100 milligram dose of Spiro well enough, then you get bumped up to 100 milligrams twice a day instead of just once a day. So I was taking that twice a day for a few weeks at this point, and well, long story short, it tanked my blood pressure so much that I was passing out at random. Anytime I would get up uh, from a sitting or laying position here, I would get up and I would try to climb the stairs, and I would have, basically a total loss of consciousness within the first 30 seconds of getting up because my blood pressure could not keep up. So I wound up experiencing that, I think it was 3 times while I was here at home. And I'll be honest, that shit is scary when it happens, and you have no one that you can fall back on to make a call. So obviously we wound up cutting back the spiral because when I had my blood pressure checked a few weeks later, they found out that on the day of my stress test, I was actually below the minimum threshold uh, for a stress test being safe to administer. So um, I think 60 was the bare minimum, or maybe it was 70, but I was like 3 points below that. I was like, what was it like 67 over 50? Or was it 57 over 50? Anyway, it was low. So they actually had to cheat my body a bit, give me some water, have me rest a little bit before I could even get on the treadmill and start the stress test. So point to all that was I've had the experience before where you wind up in a medical situation that's very uncertain. And yeah, I've been lucky so far that I've recovered on my own. But what happens if if luck isn't on my side? And yeah, that shit is kind of scary. But at the same time, I don't think I could ever take on a roommate because I don't trust people. And my schedule is so erratic that I don't think I could harmoniously live with anyone anyway. Do we really have to watch you clean yourself through all this? Ignore the cat. Ignore the cat. Anyway, yeah, you done? Can I take? No. So, anyway, I'm grateful that I've been able to, to not have anything major happen to me medically, but it does raise concern. because I know the cat's not going to be able to call 911 if anything happens to me. She won't be able to drive me to the hospital if anything goes majorly wrong. But at the same time, independent living for me on my own has been something that I've fought hard to want to win, and I can't just give it up. It would feel like I sacrifice too much if I do that. Anyway, yeah, I think I've rambled on enough about that. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else really at this point. Kind of surprised the cat didn't crawl back into my lap again, but she's a little preoccupied now. And yeah, I'm a little self-conscious right now because I realized that I got this giant spare tire for a gut that my shirt is unfortunately emphasizing, bringing out whatever. Anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough, so I'm hoping that the vocals that I provided today and the little tidbits into my life have at least accomplished something of worth. Probably not, but whatever. So, yeah, I guess I do have one thing I want to toss out before I go. And this is just an open question, but what are your thoughts on the possibility of like past lives? We're alive here in 21st century, but what if you had a life previously, like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, whatever. Do you think that there's any kind of merit to that notion, that concept? The reason I ask is actually for the last few years now, I've had these occasional memories. They're memories of a life that I never lived. They were, in this instance, they're a person, a woman living about, I want to say about 140 years ago, roughly, late 19th century. And as far as I could tell, it was somewhere in Eastern Europe. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the specifics from what I do remember, but I just have a few memories of her life. And it's like, okay, this is a life that I never lived, but I'm remembering certain events, certain facts of her life. Up to and including the night of her death. It's like, okay, that is a little bit scary. And for those curious, she died by succumbing to the cold when she was sick on a midwinter's night, like a winter's night. I'm not sure if it was like December, January, February, somewhere within that span. There was a lot of snow on the ground, and she was sick, she was weak, and she just wound up passing on in like a back alley kind of thing. And just totally forgotten. So, so anyway, I don't know. It might all just be my own imagination that I somehow cooked it up, but at the same time, what if there is something to that? I mean, you hear tossed around that they'll say like, oh, you have an old soul or you have a young soul. Well, could this be related to that? It's definitely a possibility, I think. And I guess it would lend some credence to my being labeled as an old soul every time that topic comes up. But anyway, I'm just I'm just throwing this out there as curiosity because I want to know if I'm alone in thinking that it might be a possibility that we get more than one goal at life on this planet. But anyway, I am going to get up and let you get on with your night. Don't forget to set your clocks back if you haven't already for tomorrow night. I know some places have already done it because they're ahead of the times. But if you do it this weekend, just don't forget to set the clocks back. I know I won't. Anyway, you have yourselves a great weekend. What remains of it anyway. I mean, I think it's Friday night still, so you got most of it left to go. And you have a good weekend. I will talk to you again later on sometime. Bye.